Día tras día, la investigadora de paracausalidad se escondía en la naturaleza fuera del pueblo de Amalfitano, estudiando los datos que había recolectado. Una tarde, al anochecer, una voz llamó desde fuera de su cueva. Ella dejó el equipo y las cintas y salió afuera. Un hombre estaba de pie, curioso, frente a su puerta.
¿Qué haces aquí?,
preguntó, levantando ambas cejas.
Nada sucede en Amalfitano en estos días.
El local se presentó como el empleado del banco. Probablemente tenía la cara más amable del lugar. Ojos brillantes, mejillas levantadas, una mandíbula suave. Era una cara llena de esperanza. La investigadora le mostró los espectros que había estado recopilando. «He estado recolectando historias sobre el dado», explicó. «Quizás ellos contienen la clave para explicar la aleatoriedad que muestra el destino».
«Ah, eso realmente me intriga», respondió rápidamente el empleado del banco. «Me encantaría escuchar todo sobre eso, pero debo irme. No debo llegar tarde al funeral del pescador de dunas».
Y con eso se fue.
3 días después, los mismos pasos regresaron a su cueva.
«¿Volviste? ¿Cómo has estado? ¿Lograste llegar al funeral?», preguntó.
«No tengo idea de lo que estás hablando», respondió de manera cortante. «No soy el hombre que crees que soy».
Su rostro estaba agotado y demacrado, sus ojos hundidos profundamente en huecos vacíos. Era como si toda chispa de vida le hubiera sido arrancada, dejándolo solo con una cáscara vacía. La investigadora insistió que no se había equivocado. «Conozco a las personas por su naturaleza más profunda, hasta la sincronización de sus espectros. Nunca me he equivocado antes».
«Lo que tú digas», el hombre murmuró de manera áspera. «No entiendo nada de tus ideas tan elevadas. Solo déjame ir. Ha sido un largo día de pesca y lo único que quiero ahora es desplomarme en mi cama tambaleante».
Se alejó con pasos que sonaban exactamente como los del empleado del banco.
As you might have noticed, Miss Burton, this facility isn't just a prison. It's also a research center. Its full name is the Panopticon of Comala. It was established by the Foucault Association in 1975. We've hosted workshops, academic sessions, and even lectures about the Panopticon. You may even have seen some reports about it. Experts of psychoanalysis and scholars from various fields have come here to exchange ideas and seek collaboration in their studies. In many ways, the Panopticon is unlike any other prison you've seen before.
I see. No wonder Miss Recoleta has gone to such lengths to become a part of it. Actually, my assistant and I are here to inquire about a prisoner named Doris. Does that name sound familiar?
Not that I recall. Could she have used a different name? What does she look like?
She'd have arrived here about 3 days ago. It's also possible that she came as a visitor, not a prisoner. She's a blind woman who always carries an old typewriter. She used to be a doctor at the Sao Paulo Veterans Residence in Brazil. And on the subject of different names, she once wrote for Atu, under the name Erd.
I don't think I've seen anyone fit in that description. And as I said, we haven't had any visitors in some time. Certainly not in the last 3 days.
But I did see her. I saw her walking towards Comala prison.
Someone must have mixed up their memories. Simply put, I don't recall seeing anyone by that name or with that description here.
I see. Thank you, miss. Perhaps we made a mistake. Miss Recoleta, you've gone to great lengths to get into the Panopticon. Would you mind telling us why?
Finally! I've been waiting for you to ask. I'm here to find my pen pal in Comala.
You have a pen pal? In here?
Yes. 6 months ago, I went to a book exhibition in Guadalajara and came across the contact details of a few writers. I sent them my novel and asked for feedback. Looking back, it was a bit forward, but nothing unheard of between writers. A lot of friendships start through letters, you see. And Aleph wrote back.
And how much do you know about this pen pal of yours?
Oh, well, he calls himself Aleph, which is a grammatically masculine word, so...
So you assume Aleph is a man?
Yes, he's probably a poet, a writer, perhaps even an alchemist. He's one of the brightest people I know. There's never been a question that he couldn't answer. I've asked him about religion, politics, history, potions, even critters in length and breadth. Can you imagine someone who knows all those things and so extensively too? And he helped me with my novel. He always seems to know the best ways to bring my characters to life. Honestly, he's so insightful. I've begun wondering if he's omniscient. With his help, my story grew richer and fuller, like a well-tended plant. Strangely, can't seem to take it any further now. It's as if the roots have been sapped of their strength. I couldn't understand why, so I resolved that I would see him in person to find out.
Again with this story about your uncanny pen pal, I've already told you 1,000 times. It's all very moving, but it still doesn't justify your actions. Writers experience mental blocks all the time, yet you don't see them trying to break into a prison over it.
She does have a point.
Please, Burden, jailer, have a little mercy, will you?
Hold on. I've been meaning to ask. Why are you only calling her jailer? Don't you know her name? Or do you just prefer addressing people by their occupation?
Oh, about that.
It's okay, Miss Verton. I don't mind being called by my job title. I take pride in what I do. I'm perfectly fine with just being the jailer.
Exactly. A researcher is a researcher, and a jailer is a jailer. Titles and code names often tell us more about people than their ordinary given names, don't you think? Take Sonetto, for example. Your name comes from sonnets, doesn't it? That great poetic form from Italy. Some people mistakenly think Shakespeare invented it. Some say it was Petrarca, though no one really knows when the first sonnet was written. Sorry, I'm straying from my point. You're Italian, aren't you, Sonetto? Is that your real name or just a code name? Were your parents poets?
As much as I'd like to be able to answer your question, I never knew my parents. My earliest memories were of the School of Primary Defense of Mankind. I've lived there since I was a small child.
My apologies. That was thoughtless of me.
It's fine. You meant no ill intent, I'm sure. Timekeeper, if Miss Recoleta was right about Dr. Doris's whereabouts, perhaps the jailer is keeping things from us. Or perhaps Dr. Doris visited the Panopticon without her knowledge. Either way, we need to do some digging here.
I agree. Let's see if we can talk to some of the inmates and find out what they know.
Ladies, we're about to enter the main hall of the Panopticon. This is one of the places where the inmates spend their recreation time. At this hour, they are supposed to be in their cells. But what's all that noise? Miss Burton, could you keep an eye on Recoleta if anything happens?
Certainly.
What do you take me for? I'm not going to run away. That'd be a pretty cheesy way to start a story.
Please, just stay close to me.
La Sociedad de Poetas de las Américas? Pardon the interruption, but Might I ask? I've come to learn the name of this land. Ushuaia. As we walked, I could feel her gaze upon me, steady, yet never intrusive. I sensed I had been brought to a place most unusual, a building with a quiet peculiarity in the air. I suppose I must claim a little freedom for myself in this place. I'm sorry for your undue trouble, my diligent friends. I'm here for a short visit, hoping to find some inspiration for my next story.
I didn't expect any of this from what we saw outside.
Oh, excuse me for a moment. I have duties that I must attend to.
They don't seem intimidated by her at all.
Yeah. They just look like a bunch of artists having a chat in the garden. And the jailer seems to be like a grumpy neighbor coming over to ask them to keep it down.
Everyone, you know the rules. There are to be no after-hours gatherings here without the physician's approval.
You sound softer and softer each time you come to warn us. Why not just join us? Isn't it better than circling around the Panopticon all day? And look around you. We're in the Hall of New Encounters. What better place to host a salon?
You're missing out in Comala if you don't even get a taste of our literature.
Exactly. Even those oil-dripping musicians drop by from time to time. Not that they're the kind to care about the beauty of words.
Oil-dripping musicians? Timekeeper, could they mean...
Quiet now, please. The Edile's salon is about to start.
These people seem friendly enough. Why don't we see what this is about?
En desiertos, en estrellas, dentro de laberintos.
En aguas, en espejos, dentro de reflejos.
Soñamos sobre la almohada de paja de la muerte.
Aquí estamos, rendiendo homenaje a los fantasmas.
Para rendirlo todo otra vez. Para rendirlo todo otra vez.
My dear friends, we face a difficult truth. The movement of visceral realism still stumbles in the dark. Our poems, our language, our minds are tangled by a stifling vine. A mundane, stale vision shared among all bourgeoisie. We follow this vision blindly, clinging to the comfort brought by logic and conventional wisdom, and by it we nip every branch of new art in the bud. Poems are perhaps too fragile an outgrowth to develop one's life upon, but here we may light them like candles at our funerals. Let poetry become the bridge between us and the world.
As we come back and forth over the boundaries of life and death, the old obstacles begin to take on a new look. With the eyes of poets, we may see behind them. You're a visceral realist. I can't be mistaken. You must be...
A lonely cowboy, finally home. What a wonder. You're in time. The salon has just begun, and La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas isn't like those salons that care more about who's invited than the art. All are welcome here.
A literary salon in a prison? Though, so far it seems to have more dancing than poems.
Did you understand what that man just said?
No, sorry, Timekeeper. I need a moment to think it through.
Don't worry, Sonato. I would guess we're not the only ones who are confused here. Miss Jailer, is this that peculiarity about Kamala you mentioned earlier?
Enough, idealist. You're still an inmate here, and you are walking a very fine line right now.
Oh, I'm quite aware of where I am and what lines I tread. This is a prison, the safest place for poets in this part of the continent. One cannot be arrested twice, after all. But please, don't trouble yourself with our little farce. What harm could a few poets possibly do?
Senor Idealist, might I ask you something?
Hold on, Recoleta. All forms of communication with the inmates must conform to our regulations. We will need to record the conversation and submit it to higher authorities for review.
I have some questions for the gentleman as well, but we're more than willing to follow the rules. I think the person I'm looking for might have attended this literary salon, or at least talked to some of its members. I'd wager she's spoken to that gentleman. That is, if she has been here at all.
I see. Go ahead then. Just watch the time.
Are you Aleph?
Oh, another visitor looking for Aleph.
So you know him?
Naturally, but I'm not obliged to speak of him to one who does not, stranger. And you, young lady in the hat, are you here for Aleph as well? What a lively day this is.
No, I'm looking for a blind woman. Her name is Doris.
Ah, yes, I remember. Her writing was impeccable, like an exquisite crocodile skin handbag in a shop window. Elegant, yet condescending.
Do you know where she is now?
I'm not able to keep track of every inmate here, miss. Perhaps you should ask those who have seen everything from above. Through the glass, where the scrutinizing eyes of power look down on us.
Eyes?
Have you taken your medicine today, idealist?
I'm feeling marvelous. Today I require no help from them.
I've warned you. It's unwise to act against the physician's orders.
Act against him? No one may act against him here. The physician must have misunderstood us. I suspect he doesn't understand half of what we say. I'd like to know how he got his medical degree. Not by cracking open skulls, I should hope. What a pity, jailer. You know, I've always believed you had the soul of a poet, just like us. We've already spoken enough rebellious thoughts outside of Komala. How else do you think we ended up in your nut house? We've been here far too long. Long after the junta was removed from office. After our home became a deserted wasteland in the aftermath of the Latin American boom.
What are you getting at?
That power is boring, meaningless. Nothing holds on to power forever. And the one true connection we have to life is poetry.
See, Jailer? Even an outsider understands our ideas better than you. It's time to open your eyes to reality. La Sociedad is the only way for us to feel truly alive in here, beneath the gaze of those prying, ever-vigilant eyes.
Idealist, last warning. Stop this now.
Fine, fine. All right, compañeros. Sadly, the salon must come to an end, as our jailer insists. Dear friends, I do not mean to abuse the power of suspense. I sincerely invite you to come with me to the heart of La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas. Perhaps you'll find the person you look for there.
We'd love to. Only if that's okay with you, Miss Jailer.
I suppose that's all right. You're already here. We can call it part of your tour, but please, ladies, take none of their rumblings seriously.
Thank you, Jailer. Please, follow me.
Stay behind me. I'll keep us safe.
Wait, this isn't the way to the gallery.
It isn't the usual way. It's a shortcut. We call it the reptilian complex and primal hunger route. Much faster than the limbic system and postmodern anxiety route, let me tell you.
But this passageway has long been abandoned, and entry is prohibited. It's extremely dangerous too.
Relax, Jailer. No one, not even you, knows this prison better than I.
But, Timekeeper, I think we've just gone in a circle. This concept, it's newly made this year.
En la acumulación de laberintos, suéltalo todo una vez más.
We stand together.
Cosmología, filosofía clásica, el fundamento del mundo.
There they are.
Más allá.
Another jar?
Nuestro aliado es la verdad.
Let's get it over quick.
It's
newly made this year.
En la acumulación de laberintos, suéltalo todo una vez más. Nuestro adversario es el tiempo.
You don't want to miss it. Got you.
En todos los momentos.
Oh, look, here's another one.
Do I have to do this?
Huh,
a truly villainous moment.
Careful.
I haven't had a eureka moment like this in a while.
Let's take a step back. Pull you out of that whirlwind of passion and dreams. If you want to make the best call, you need to zero in on what really matters. So what's your take on that big speech? A sudden explosion that shook Latin American literary circles about 30 years ago. It was destructive, but also gave rise to new life. Lucky for us, we don't have to worry about shell shock in the literary world. It's not about knowing literature. Any soldier with little experience can deliver a status report. All right, eyes on the map. As we speak, ships are lined up on the Spanish coast, but this time, they're poised to make a new kind of discovery, if you can call it that. And here are our new Columbuses, heading to the docks to embark on their journey. Carmen and Carlos, the driving force behind this literary feast between Spain and Latin America. Carmen, with an eye for opportunity and a mind for business, sought out the continent's literary gems and secured generous publishing deals for them. Carlos, with his deep understanding of market dynamics, brought these works to the eyes of the European public. Then, a golden era began. It all kicked off with a scandal at a military academy, and soon the entire world was captivated by the story of a baby with a pig's tail from a faraway land. But we mustn't forget the writers themselves. Fuentes, a towering figure of the Spanish-speaking world, and Cortázar, the writer ever seeing through the eyes of a child. And of course, Mario and Gabo, key players in this literary revolution, will forever be etched in the annals of history. They corresponded regularly, always expressing deep admiration for each other's work. In fact, one even wrote a doctoral thesis on the other. Ah, friendship. It was. But no matter how explosive the boom was, it couldn't escape its fleeting nature. With the second imprisonment and self-criticism of a Cuban poet, in came an inexplicable right hook, and bang, silence. The military junta had gripped the poets' throats. The verse of the pioneers was cut off, their voices no longer heard. The bond between two generations was broken, and for the younger of the two, the silence was intolerable. They looked for a new theme, a new idea, a new voice, a new method to speak on their disappointment, their horror, and their anger. And they became the new guerrillas.
Mr. Idealist entrusted me with hosting the literature salon. Fiction's duality in reflecting reality and the self. Like-minded fellows, aspiring writers. Literature's been shoved aside in the world of art. What is left for us to do? Let stories be our weapon. They should be the sword that cuts through the bloody truth, the beacon that lights our way forward.
Hey!
I'm a writer, and I mostly write under the name Erd.
Erd? Have you written for Atu? Are you the Erd in Atu?
It's an important part of my visit to hear all the ideas and opinions, if you'll pardon my intrusion. In these restless times, literature has been overlooked, forgotten, pushed to the edges of the world. Much like Ushuaia.
La investigadora se despierta en su cueva en la duna, que le parecía tan vacía como una tumba. Era poco antes del amanecer. Montones de cintas habían ocupado su espacio vital, apilándose una y otra vez. Cada uno de estos carretes giratorios hablaba de historias sobre esa cabaña con techo azul. Oyó la voz del asesinado conductor de burros detrás de ella. Oigo a todos ellos, las risas y las voces de generaciones pasadas, como hojas secas atrapadas en las grietas de viejas paredes, crujiendo solo cuando el viento sopla otra vez. No pondría un pie en esa casa si fuera tú. El mendigo al lado de la puerta también habló. Duermo en el porche cada noche. Cada mañana una luz tenue brilla a través de la ventana, pero nadie sale nunca por esa puerta, y nadie ha entrado nunca. Luego la voz del empleado del banco. Es la historia del alter ego. Esa casa debe haber estado llena de deudas que nadie reclamaría. La anciana enferma, luchando en su cama, susurró. La casa recuerda esos días, cuando la gente desaparecía en la oscuridad de la noche y los niños eran robados por las tormentas. La investigadora de paracausalidad había oído suficiente y volvió a dormirse. Solo quedaba el traqueteo del dado de Babilonia, resonando en su cueva vacía.
I've always wanted to use the element of fantasy to better establish our theme. And I was right. Now the stage is captivating, the timing is perfect, and the audience is ideally placed. Only one imperfect element remains in the scene. The creator, who hasn't stepped away from his creation. No. There's another thing.
Can you even tell any difference between today's setup and yesterday's?
Seriously, Roberta? That's a rude question.
Well, what's the difference then?
I can't see one either, but you should never judge art by how much it changes in a day. It's a creative process. We might be standing at the edge of the world, but art has no boundaries. We have to show him our support.
Easy for you to say. He's been tinkering and tweaking for over 3 months. Even if the idealist himself entrusted him with this exhibition, he can still be wrong sometimes. This gallery is turning into a dump.
Estoy viendo fantasmas, todos con las mismas caras, García. Demasiados. Es fácil perderse en ellos.
Idealist, you're back. Are these new recruits for La Sociedad? You must have had a very successful day.
It is good to see you, Garcia. How has your vision progressed today?
First a salon, and now an art gallery. Is this really a prison?
As you can see, I've strived to push the element of fantasy in my work so that it might reach perfection. But why doesn't it look like what I imagine? It's like I'm trying to work on a shadow. Some shapeless thing that morphs and shifts by the hour. Idealist, Am I losing it again? I took my medicine as instructed.
It was never the pills that blinded you, my dear Garcia. You mustn't let tedious routine stifle what's truly alive. Remember, like those old poems, your exhibition must have a timeless rhythm that's never lost to the changing of minds.
Sorry, maybe I'm just not getting it.
Look up. There's your answer. Though the sun rises the same way every day, the multitudes of shadows it casts are ever-changing. Isn't that the only constant in life? Change? We foolishly pursue stability and constancy, but our very world denies it. Take a step back. Take several, and see the truth for yourself, lest you too become lost among the shifting shadows.
I get it now. It's the changing light that makes the exhibit seem different from what I expected. I shouldn't waste my time on freezing things in one perfect moment. Instead, I need to embrace change as it comes. I don't know how to thank you. I won't let you down. I must complete this exhibition. Complete my alter ego.
Did you say alter ego? And he called you Garcia. Is that your name? Garcia, where did you learn about this alter ego? Do you happen to write under the name...
Please, Recoleta, give our artist some space. Can't you see? He's already returned to his own time and space. He can't hear a thing you say.
He's right. Garcia is deep in his own head now. He won't hear a thing until he's done with whatever he has to do. Even if the floor were to collapse out under us, I think he will be left standing in the air without even noticing.
Pardon me then.
All right, my dear guests, please forgive my late introduction. Welcome to the Gallery of Bewilderment.
Thank you for inviting me here, Mr. Idealist.
I imagine you're curious about what we do here in the heart of La Sociedad de Poetas de las Americas. We're putting together a magazine, a collection of poems from Kamala, our very own Casa de las Americas.
¿Casa de las Américas?
Exactly, named after its great predecessor. You're a fine mind indeed. At this very moment, all our compañeros are working on it. Garcia's exhibition, Alter Ego, is centered around the birth of this magazine. And here, you can see the signatures from all the poets involved, along with a few words they've written for it. Reading it is like looking into the soul of our society.
All these signatures. Timekeeper, here! It's Dr. Doris's pseudonym, Erd.
Then she was here.
Precisely. She used to be one of us, and still is, if I may correct myself. You can ask around here. Maybe some of our members know where she went. Don't we all miss the familiar faces of old friends? I'm sure they'll do everything they can to help you find yours.
Mr. Idealist! I finished my short story. It's called Weightlessness. It drifts around the subject like a ship floating in space. The readers can start anywhere in the story, or read it in any order they like.
And please take a look at my piece off limits! Every word that has been forbidden is either erased or replaced with symbols. It's a one-of-a-kind, jarring experience!
And I finished a new paragraph. Just wrote it today. Oh, new faces. Welcome.
Idealist, did he just...
This is the writer for the prologue of our magazine. The prologue consists of a 2,000-line poem and an introduction that is written in 86 languages to avoid misinterpretation. It represents every second we spend here. Naturally, the arrival of new members disrupts its structure, and so we must begin again from scratch.
So he just tore it all up like that because he thought we were joining? With all due respect, isn't this a little excessive? Heaven knows I'm not one to judge. I've torn up plenty of writing for my novel.
Please, pay it no mind. It may not be an easy task, but he's doing his part. Destruction is hard, but more necessary than you think. Without it, we'd all be stuck in a still and stagnant pond, with all the smells that entail.
This all sounds very complicated. When will your magazine be finished then? Forgive me, but I'm not sure what a floating sheep, a jarring reading experience, and all this constant rewriting are meant to express.
As I've said, Komala is unlike any other prison.
Miss Jailer, do you mean...
This place also serves as a research center, and the prisoners here, for all they claim, are not just poets. They are arcanist criminals, and each one of them has been diagnosed as mentally ill.
You're quite right, Jailer. But let's not forget that mental illness is merely a deviation from the norm. And who decides the norm? You, the physician, or the ones outside these walls? We've been exiled here by the standards of our time, deprived of our roles in the outside world. So please, as we agreed before, I ask you not to interfere with the affairs of La Sociedad.
These people are visitors, not your new recruits.
But should we not hear their thoughts first? My friends, no one escapes the eye of power. We must resist. Stand with us. Pick up your pen and take poetry as your shield before it is too late.
Idealist, I admire your fight, but I came here with a different goal.
We're the last true owners of an old legend, words now only remembered as myth. We must stay on the path of literature until I find that transcendental solution. To invent an idiom that is generic, all-encompassing, yet precise. My poem will be written in this language, leaving no room for doubt or misinterpretation. How blessed is a man with infallible memory. He holds the finer details of each object within him, more vivid than anyone else. In the end, he'll have all the answers, if time allows him.
Sweet tongue, sister howls, hermaphrodite, tango. They put the whole city in the nut house.
Timekeeper, look over there.
Isn't that the prologue writer?
There's something off about him. Please, Timekeeper, stay away from him.
What's happening?
Idealist, Pablo's having another episode.
Multiples of us. You make reality sick.
I could use your help, ladies.
Did I start running?
En la acumulación de laberintos, suéltalo todo una vez más.
Oh look, it's newly made this year.
Run, start running.
Cosmología, filosofía clásica, el fundamento del mundo.
Got you.
Más allá Nuestro aliado es la verdad. Idealismo, vuelos de fantasía, patrones ocultos.
And occasional indulgence.
Not a fan of my work, I take it. Más allá.
Another jar?
These glowing lights. We are the master and maven of the place. Run, start running.
Cosmología, filosofía clásica, el fundamento del mundo.
You are not welcome here. We did it! We made it through another storm!
Poor soul. I'll bring him to bed. Well done, ladies. Aren't you full of surprises?
What was all that?
It seems he had a mental breakdown and lost control of his arcane skill. It appears that every line he recited carried unbridled power.
Usually, only specific lines can channel arcane energy. You can't just force the power into words or craft a poem to serve your purpose. Pablo must have a rare gift for identifying empowered lines. When he recited them all aloud, they overwhelmed him.
That's right. He's a genius who rides the tides of emotion, just like Arthur Rimbaud. We always keep a close eye on him to make sure he doesn't recite anything while reading or writing. But sometimes things slip through.
You must understand how difficult it is for a poet to never taste the words on his own lips.
So then, this isn't the first time, and you're all fully aware of it. Do I understand you right? Did you just admit that you've been hiding an inmate with a dangerous condition from us? According to the safety regulations for the Panopticon of Kamala, he must be sent to the physician for immediate treatment.
No, wait, we can explain. He's doing fine. We know how to help him. This was just an accident. We got distracted by the new members.
We won't be handing him over to the physician. No true writer would allow their mind, the most sacred palace of their thoughts, to be opened up to that cold-hearted, ignorant butcher. Even one who believes their inspiration flows from a source beyond the mere substance of a brain would refuse it.